When I played through Control in 2019, I was filled with wonder and praised Remedy for their world building and character development. They presented this over-the-top and surreal story that only became more complex every moment of gameplay. Still, it was immersive and engaging. There were moments where you felt like a superhero along with moments of frustration when you got lost. Now, with the new DLC titled The Foundation, we are called back to the Bureau for a new mission. However, this time Jessie is equipped with all of her powers from before, with a little more to discover along the way. The best part of this new content is not going to be found directly in front of you.
That's exactly what I thought.
Anyway, I've been looking into the minerals growing down here. Have you noticed how they insist on maintaining a certain form?
The Foundation begins by Jessie getting a strange message from the hotline, which finds her and the team investigating deep underneath the Bureau. Evidently, the hiss has been leaking into the world from down there, and she is tasked with stopping it. All of this leads to her destroying 4 monuments sprinkled around the underground map, and ultimately discovering why it's happening in the first place. We get to see a new side of Jessie in this DLC. She has much more confidence when dealing with the supernatural, and she is just more comfortable with her powers. A different side of her is shown as she is met with a possible failure. She is led by her immersive nature, which has its good and bad qualities. Most of all, they just shape her character to be a little more complicated, which paves the way for the writers to use this in future stories. I ended up not liking the repetitive nature of this DLC. There are many times where you'll encounter the same cavern halls that seem to be copied and pasted to make the new underground area larger. In the base game, each area had its own identity as you make your way through the building. However, here it's just all empty. There are times where you're just running through caverns and with nothing really happening. That's not to say that there aren't some significant areas on the map. The warehouse, for one, is one of the more interesting set pieces, but this could be because a side quest where I needed to find lost IDs forced me to explore every inch of the level. The side quests are perhaps the best part of the DLC, as the main quest can be completed rather quickly. To help you get through these new areas are new powers, the ability to destroy crystals and the ability to grow them. Paths are sometimes obstructed by crystals, which can now be shot and destroyed. Growing them, on the other hand, will allow you to get to high places or across long distances. Both can be used in combat, and given how unforgiving some of these enemies can be, it's best to master these powers to get through the encounters quicker. I like these powers to an extent, but I felt that they made the last boss a breeze, as the entire area is littered with ways to take advantage of the new skills. Looking back, I enjoyed the side quests more than the straightforward main missions, since it just seemed to repeat itself over and over again. Sure, it was fun exploring these new areas, but the reasoning behind it didn't feel the same as what is presented in the main game. The Foundation has a handful of different enemy types that you'll meet every now and then, but most of the battles are optional. However, these battles offer a great way to test your skills given that they are challenging. Still, I didn't think that there was enough variety in the enemies that you met throughout the story. It gets pretty annoying each time you kill a flying enemy only for 2 more to spawn, and this happens several times. The DLC content doesn't shove the optional missions in your face, which might make some players miss them entirely. There's a real lack of variety here, and it's sad remembering just how complex and fantastic Control's story is. Coming to this is a bit of a disappointment, as it pretty much is more of the same, with a couple added abilities.
Is this the lock/key the board told me about?
The Foundation shows us a different side of Jessie that fleshes out her character in some amazing ways. I enjoyed seeing her play the director and get more comfortable in her new position. However, the story lacks any real execution on these new developments, and on top of that, players are sent on a repetitive quest that only seems to make things more complicated. The Foundation will keep you busy for a few hours, but in the end, the side quests are the best part about it, which is sad. I didn't care for the new powers, as they just made the glaring copy and paste environments more apparent. However, if you enjoyed the gameplay and battles from the base game, you'll get that here, with even less direction. Noisy Pixels giving Control the Foundation a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.